Hi folks, welcome back to another episode of Crafts with Corey. Today's episode, I get to be a Cooper. Not really, kind of sort of Cooper. So today's episode, I have acquired this lovely old wooden barrel. But as you can probably see, we've got metal hoops here, but I am actually missing one right about here. So today's episode is I'm going to try to actually make a barrel hoop. I don't know. This is this hobby takes you to strange places and makes you do strange things. I've done a lot of weird projects, not only on this channel, but off the camera as well. It's kind of odd, the things we get to do. But anyways, so if you didn't know, a Cooper is somebody that makes barrels. I'm not even going to attempt to actually make the wood section. I'm just going to be replacing a barrel hoop. So what that is going to entail is bending steel. Okay, so making a metal hoop. So this is actually the metal hoop from the other side. It was already loose. I'll fix them being loose at the end of the project. But I took off the metal hoop that I basically need to replicate. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do, and it's just 2 rivets. Now the thing is with this metal hoop is it's not, the sides are not parallel. Probably doesn't come along on camera well. They're not straight like that. They are actually kinked out like that. That's going to be the big problem, is how do I do that? Well, thanks to there's a video from Mount Vernon on YouTube, and it's about a minute long, shows how their Coopers make their barrel hoops, and I'm going to try that out and try copying it. So the steel I am using, I am sure that there's probably a lot better steel or a lot purpose-made steel. This is what I found. So this is just from Menards. This is from their stock steel section. It is whaled steel flat, 1/8 of an inch by 1 inch, by 1 1/4 inch by 6 feet. It's a Hillman brand, so it's 1/8 of an inch thick, 1 1/4 inch wide. Now, already it is going to be slightly too wide. I can't do anything about that. Is it going to be too thick? Yeah, I think it is going to be actually too thick. Or it's a lot thicker than this. This is what I got. If that doesn't work out, I'll have to find another source of material. But we'll see how that goes. So, it's not going to be as simple as just bending it into a hoop shape and riveting it, because I need to flare it out a little bit. So, according to the video that I saw, what they do, what all Coopers do, I don't know, historic Coopers, let's put it that way. What they do is they go along just one side or one edge of the material and they smack it with a hammer. They have a special hammer, they have a pointed hammer. I don't have that. I've got ball peen hammer, and then I've got a 3-pound hammer, and then all of the other hammers. But I'm going to try it out with a ball peen and basically just go along the edge here, just on one side, and beat it out. And what's going to happen is basically, as I pound it, this side is actually going to expand out. It's going to get thinner. It's going to expand out. This side's going to stay the same, so it should start to do a gentle curve. I don't know. We'll see if it works. Again, I have a feeling this material may be too thick. If it is, I'll have to find somewhere else, but that's a problem for another video or another section of this video. So I've got ball peen hammers. I'm going to be trying this on the anvil portion of my vise. As far as the rivets, I am using shank handle rivets. These are way too long, of course, but I'll cut them down and then peen them over. I don't want to use pop rivets. I don't have a pop rivet gun. I've never used pop rivets, and pop rivets are not historically correct. These are like $1. And all I'm going to do is, after I cut this to length, drill two holes in it on both sides, bring them together, bend it, put the rivet through. Obviously, when it's already cut the length, and smack it with a hammer a couple times till it mushrooms out. So we'll see if it goes, see if it works. Again, this hobby takes you to weird things, weird places, and you do weird things. Weird skills that you never think you would actually learn. But it's kind of like experimental archaeology. I hear that term thrown out a lot. Just give it a shot. I mean, that's the whole point of this whole YouTube thing is try it out. You know, the steel was like $11. The rivets were like $1 per pack, and I've got multiples. The barrel was very, very cheap, and give it a shot and see what happens. So, will it work? Will I become a Cooper? I don't know. We'll find out. All right, so I have cut my steel to the proper length. I just measured around the hoop that I had, including the overhang. And I added in about 1 inch just for some extra wiggle room, just to be safe. So, plan is, take the metal strap here. I'm going to use the ball peen end of my hammer and just go along and tap one edge. It's going to be the edge closest to me, and go all the way around. I already tried this out as far as on a test piece. It is going to be physically labor intensive, so this may take a little bit. Couple of notes. So first of all, PPE, gloves are going to be a must. Goggles are going to be a must, and then headphones or earmuffs. It's going to be loud. So a couple notes. One, this is just my tabletop vise, the flat end of my tabletop vise. There's probably going to be some bounce back because it is mounted on wood, and it's, you know, it is what it is. Try out this, see if this works. On my test piece, it worked fine. I think I've got more control. I can precisely hit on that ball peen end. And one tip I remembered from one of my blacksmith friends is when you're holding the hammer, don't put your thumb on top. You may feel like you get more power that way, but you're going to wear out your thumb very easily. So make sure you wrap your thumb all the way around the hammer while you're going. And I'm going to try to use the weight of the hammer more than anything else. This is pretty far up. I have to get my arm up pretty far. It's not ideal. PPE on, earmuffs, and we'll give this a shot. I don't think I need to bound it too hard, but you should be able to see it start mushrooming out. Yeah, this is going to be tiring. A lot. You got to have a lot of body strength. I'm trying to remember for my blacksmith friends, if you use your whole arm, you're going to get tired. I think if you just tap it just in the wrist motion, I think that's right, you won't get as physically worn out. Let the hammer do the work. Let it bounce. Okay, we're about halfway done here. So here's the section that I have not gotten to yet. This is about my longest straight edge I've got. So we can see pretty straight, no changes. Come down to where we have begun. Oh yeah, and you can see it's really starting to curve out. So I think by the time we're done, it will look pretty good, do pretty well. If I need to come up higher, more more halfway into this, I can do that and go back through. Pretty physically tiring, but it's going to take me a little bit of time. Okay, this took me about maybe 2 hours, but I did it over the course of 2 days. So here's what we got. It is definitely bent, and it is also bent that way. So we'll use that to our advantage when we build it. You can probably see the actual detail here. So this side I think is going to be the portion that's next to the wood because of the way it's bent naturally. So when I come together, I'll bend it like that. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Looking at it, I don't know. If it doesn't, if it's not good, I'll keep hammering away at it. I did take a file to all sides just to not have any burrs, make sure it wasn't super sharp, especially these edges here as well. One thing I did learn when hammering is my vice post here, it was actually too high, so this was actually a very uncomfortable way to do this. So I actually have just a crate on the ground, so I went from here. Again, kind of uncomfortable, just the angle of things because I wanted to come straight down. So put a crate on the ground, stood up, worked better that way. I didn't have to go as far. It was very much more natural, so kind of wanted it at your waist. And remembering my friends, the blacksmiths, yeah, anvil about waist high or so is pretty good. So I couldn't lower this, so I raised myself. I'm a short guy, what can I say? Okay, next up is going to be bending this, so we'll see how that goes. So here is the hoop that I'm trying to match. This is going to be the top side. And then here's my hoop. Now how I'm actually going to bend this, I don't know. Let's set up my vise and kind of do it by hand and go from there. Actually, if I go like that, maybe I can use the rounder portion here. And this is just going to be by hand. Bending pretty easily. And already running into problems. Don't have enough room. Bends pretty easily by hand. Not a perfect circle at all, but getting there. I think I need to just get these. Here's the thing. I'll get it close. Almost get myself in the face. I'll get it close. And if I can rivet it together, then I think I'll be fine. I can kind of move it, shape it that way. I need to bend the edges. I think it's going to require Mr. Vice Post. Okay, let's compare it to our original here. Top. Go. Yep. I think we're right about there. The angle seems pretty good. Yeah, I think we're fine. Okay. All right. Well, next. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully you can see that. So we've got plenty of overlap. I added about another ½ inch or inch or so to my overlap just so I'd have enough room. And yeah, all right. So I think next up is going to be, I'm going to drill holes. Drill my top holes here. Get everything, yeah, I'm going to drill my first two holes. Get everything set, squeeze together. Mark where I need to put my second set of holes. So I'm going to drill this side, and then using my inner hoop as a guide, I'll tighten it up, and then drill what would be the middle here, but the underside here, and go from there. Cool. All right. Cut to drilling. Okay, so drill 2 holes on this side here. This is going to be my top side. Deburred it with one of these tools. This is wonderful. If you don't have one of these tools and you do a lot of metal work, get a deburr. Rivets sit in fine. So now it's going to be time to actually try and match this hoop here. So that's going to be the hard part. So I'm setting my hoop with the narrow, with it going like that, narrow end on top. Set my other hoop around it, and basically try to move her around and tighten it up. And using a clamp, kind of get some final measurements here, final thoughts before I start cutting. Because once this is cut, that's it. Or excuse me, once this is riveted together, that's kind of it. I can maybe take out rivets and redo it, but once the rivet's in, it's in. Luckily, this is kind of in the middle of the barrel, so if it slides down a little bit farther, I think that's fine. But I just need to have it tight, kind of from the get-go. Okay, we're back. So I have drilled the holes on the underside, or what will be the underside, and I've also cut off probably about an inch or so extra material. So this should be able to come over pretty easily, and should be able to rivet that fairly easily, hopefully. Stop! Hammer time. Alright, let's see how it goes. I know, horrible joke, dad joke. It's bending. It's not good. Probably a little too long. Yeah, that's not a good rivet. Alright, well I can undrill that and try again. I will, let's try this other one here. Alright, so that is too much. That's fine. Now I know. I'm going to cut off probably, let's go that much. Alright. Cut it off, try it again. I'm going to leave this rivet in now, just for now. That way I don't have to clamp this together as I'm working. So, alright, I'm going to cut this rivet to length, and we'll give it a second shot. Okay, trying out a smaller rivet so you can see it is significantly shorter than the other one. So, I'm going to leave this one here. Excuse me, leave that one there. Just so it holds everything in place. Give this smaller one a better shot. I know there's probably some sort of formula that tells you exactly how long a rivet needs to be, but we'll give it a shot here. Oh yeah, tons better. Tons better. So I'm going to cut this guy off, make another rivet that is this size, and go from there. Alright, installed the second rivet. Took a little bit more time than I thought. Flatten things out a little bit more. Refine the shape a little bit. So this is going to be the first test fitting on the barrel here. So again, flared end goes towards the widest section. So this, in this case, is going to be down. Okay. It's not perfect. But this barrel is also not perfect at all in any means. Okay, I've got some final shaping to do. Probably some squeezing and some making sure it's round. But overall not bad. There's a lighter section of wood here that is where the old hoop used to be. Probably with some pounding I can get it to fit there. But right now I'm gonna just kind of leave that as is. And yeah, I call that pretty good. Probably I'll go through and flare it out a little bit more. I think it could probably use with some flares. I'm looking at some sections here. The top is out and the bottom is scraping. So yeah, I'll probably go through and flare it out some more. But otherwise, I think this is going good. Not too bad at all. I'm pretty happy with it. For a first time, not bad. But yeah, that is our barrel hoop. Yeah, it's been an interesting project. Not hard, it's just kind of time consuming and physically demanding. But I have a greater appreciation for those that actually did make these barrels by hand. And how critical barrel storage was, or barrels in the 18th, 19th century, 17th century, all through time, how critical barrels have been. Before our modern day metal and plastic cans, storage containers, all it was barrels. So the cooper was a very, very important person in the time period. So, learned a new skill today. Now that I can say that I can have a little bit of experience working with barrels. So, okay, so we've got, this is never going to be perfect. This barrel hoop is never going to be perfect. It's meant to be a replacement hoop, so it's going to be what it is. But very, very shiny, very, very new steel. And the hoops that are currently on the barrel are original and rusted. So I'm going to try a little bit of aging and a little bit of rusting on this barrel hoop to see if I can get it to match-ish. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to look like a replacement. That's totally fine. But I want it to not stand out as much on the barrel hoop, on the barrel, like it does now. So I'm going to do a little bit of controlled rusting on this barrel hoop, and a quick little search online has kind of got me a couple of good ideas on what to use, on how to do it. So first of all, I'm going to take the barrel hoop, I'm going to sand it and get some of, there's probably some sort of finish on this steel, even though it is basically bare steel. I am still going to sand it and clean it off with a little bit of brake cleaner, just so I am sure that I have got bare steel. Next up, I'm going to create a solution using salt, white vinegar, and hydrogen peroxide. From everything I've seen, that seems to be the formula. I'm sure there's 1,000 different ways to do it. Fair warning, when you are mixing solutions and chemicals and that kind of stuff, be careful, otherwise you may wind up making some things you don't intend to make. So, first step is going to be sanding. Sand this down, and I'm going to just spray it off with some brake clean. I'll probably spare you the boredom of watching me do that. So, okay, so I actually forgot that I have a wire wheel on my grinder, on my benchtop grinder, so I use that to clean it up, and then definitely spray it off with brake parts cleaner. Took a lot of dirt and stuff off of it. I don't think there's any magical ratio about how to mix these chemicals. Well, chemicals. It's vinegar, salt, and hydrogen peroxide. I think I should be fine. I don't think there's any ratios. But just using a spare container and a spare brush to mix everything together. So, start with the vinegar. This is white vinegar, general purpose vinegar. I don't think I need that much. Try that. A little bit of salt. I think I understand how rusting works. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. The chemical process of rust, well, I used to. That's basic high school chemistry and stuff, but I have since forgotten that. And no longer remember. I'll put a little bit of salt. Why the hell not? So, I know somebody will probably put in the messages what the actual chemical formula for rust is and the chemical process and all that stuff, but I've since forgotten. So I just want to get the salt dissolved and see how well this goes. Again, I know it's not going to be perfect. I just want it to halfway blend in. And we'll go from there. Yeah, let's see. Okay. I'm sure it'll take some time. Ooh, I see some bluing already. Ooh, maybe a little blue. Man, if this will chemically blue, oh, that'd be so cool. we'll let that sit a little bit, a couple hours, and probably reapply it and see how that goes. Yeah, lovely. But that's why we wear work aprons. Okie dokie. Come back in a couple hours. Okay, quick little update. This is probably after 24 hours. Looks good on the surface, sure, but start brushing it away and it's, yeah, it's literally just on the surface. So, don't know if I'm going to strip it. I think I actually may set it outside and try to get it naturally rusted. It's a kind of a nice, wet, icky day. So, I'm going to try that. Otherwise, I'll have to actually use some chemical stripper and strip off whatever top coat's preventing it from rusting. Okay, folks, this is, I think, the last chapter of this saga. This has taken a lot longer process than I thought. So when I left off, I was working on aging that hoop right there. That is the raw steel, the one that I made, the new barrel hoop. So I left off on actually aging that, or working on aging that. And what I wound up doing is actually just leaving it outside for about a month or two in the rain. Every now and then I would basically spray hydrogen peroxide on it, maybe a little bit of salt, and get it aging, getting actually rusted. So I'm always a proponent of actual natural wear, and turns out you can't rush rusting. So I needed it for an event at the turn of the year. So here it is. I did wind up actually soaking it in WD-40 just so it wouldn't spread any rust or it wouldn't come off or anything like that. This project has taken me so long that the barrel collection has grown. I don't know why I have a thing for barrels. I just think that they're kind of cute. They fit perfectly in with my nautical impression for both Revolutionary War and War of 1812. They just fit. So I have a family of barrels now, thanks to a lot of different people there. So I've actually had that one. I've had that one for several years. My fiance actually got this little barrel for me for Christmas. This is my first barrel. I use it for my my Weevil moldy ship's biscuit display. So it's overflowing with Weevily ship's biscuit. Because you need to remember, in the service of His Majesty, one must always take the lesser of two weevils. Name the reference. And then the small one there and the big one here are basically new acquisitions. The small one here, again, is from my fiance. It is kind of awesome. So this little guy is going to be, it's actually lined with plastic. We're going to get a better tap here. We're going to actually get a wooden one, or one that looks like wood. My goal with this is actually going to be to stain this a little bit darker and probably age the brass rings here if possible. Get a little looking a little bit worn. Perfect for grog. So we'll see how that goes. I'm kind of currently testing that out. And then the big guy here is actually from my future mother-in-law. It was a trash barrel, but I picked her up some plastic barrels. So now this barrel is now retired, and it's going to be living its life as part of a reenacting display. That is going to be hard. There it is. That's going to be hard to transport to events. We'll see how that goes. That's going to require some special attention. But that is the end of this saga of making a barrel hoop. It's been a very interesting journey. Learned a lot. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of hard work. And I've really appreciated kind of learning these crafts. It is amazing how simple it is to make one of these, but also how it's not even meticulous. It's just it's learning how to do it, learning the mechanics of doing it. I never would have thought of flattening one side, just one edge of one side of a piece of metal, and that would basically bend it and make it kind of cone shaped and be able to make a barrel hoop. Amazing, kind of amazing. So this guy is done. On the big barrel, you may notice it's missing a hoop. I guess I got another project. That'll be probably in some more time later on down the road. We'll see how that goes. If I'll even want to tackle it. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for watching. I know this video was a bit longer. Hope you learned something. Hopefully you got a little bit of laughs. I don't know. Hopefully you kind of got a sense and appreciation of just what it is to kind of learn the old crafts. I've always tried to encourage people, just go out there and learn. You never know where this is going to take you. You may wind up with a family of barrels like I have. So, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, let me know. If not, let me know. Good, bad, or ugly. Let me know maybe if you got some ideas about what you'd like to see on this channel. I'm always looking for ideas. I'm always looking for projects, too. If you got a project in mind, maybe give me a holler. So, this ain't perfect, but neither am I. Thanks so much.